Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Tyvis Powell, Jason Lloyd. Plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Hey! Welcome back to the ultimate Cleveland sports show.
Yeah, man.
Get another close up of G. Popping the collar today.
Yeah, a little collar game, little collar.
They got
work.
suited.
Double collar.
They
Double
got
collar.
suited and booted.
A little something, Jay. I
Yeah.
like the jacket.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
What
I
about
see you.
Good.
what
I
about
see
what
you.
I got going?
Let's check out the fit of Tyvis.
There we go.
What is that? What cloth is that?
This
pole?
is Lululemon. Come on.
I
man.
thought it was Lululemon. I thought I saw that logo.
Nice little quarter
Do
zip.
they not make the most comfortable stuff ever?
You know, I could actually sit in this stuff all day.
It's incredible.
The pants, the tops, the polos.
the joggers. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I feel fit should be uncomfortable.
You should be uncomfortable.
Yeah,
What's
like
wrong with you?
The colder the fit, the more comfortable you is. You know what I'm saying?
More
You can't
money
be-
you spend.
Yeah, that's true. You are. Comfort, style, it comes at a price.
Listen, got the
It does.
Cole Haan shoes with Jay today.
You got Coles too,
He's
huh?
all whites. All white
yeah.
Cole Haans.
Oh yeah, I got the little trim.
Yeah, you know, my wife actually wanted me to get those, and I decided to go with the all white.
The all whites are fine too. They're comfortable.
Hey, I can wear these all day. They
Yes,
feel like
absolutely.
a pair of sneakers.
How you been? I haven't seen you in like 3 months.
You know, man, keeping one foot in front of the other. Yesterday I was on the show, and I didn't beg. I politely asked Jimmy Haslam, because I know he watches our show.
begging?
Oh, every day.
I was explaining to
Hey,
him
Jimmy.
that, you know, they like to pay guys because they see the potential.
Sure.
So I was saying, if that's the case, radio personality-wise, I think I'm doing a decent job.
Doing a great job.
I feel like potentially I could be really good at this, so he should pay me now. And I'm not asking for nothing crazy. Just two, maybe $300 more of my check and direct deposit. That's it.
Is
That's
that
all I
per
want.
week? Are you doing stuff for them during the off season or just during the season?
Every night I sprinkle in the off season. I was supposed to be on the Cleveland Browns daily last Wednesday, but I was on the Buckeye cruise, so I couldn't do it.
Got
Draft
it.
coming up though. Maybe they'll have me do the draft again.
You're on about 18 shows.
Yeah. Life's is
Hey, the hustle
I'm
is
a
real.
busy, I'm a busy man. Hey, what can I say?
Happy birthday.
Thank
I know
you.
it was a couple weeks ago.
17th? 16th.
16th.
What's today? The first.
Well, today's the
2
March
weeks
1st,
ago,
so
yeah.
it was 2 weeks ago, but I didn't see you, so happy birthday.
Thank you, I appreciate
I
that.
did send you a text, I believe.
Did you?
I did. Happy birthday. It was a day early,
Let
in
me
fact.
check
I wanted
the-
to be the first
Wait a minute.
to wish you a happy birthday.
We gonna check the Carfax.
Go
on
back
that.
and check it out. Check the Carfax. You will see. I was probably the first person to wish you a happy
No,
birthday.
you didn't. You last text message I received from Jay Crawford.
This is false.
It's on July 11th.
No. I think it was to the group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me go.
It was to the group.
How many days ago was that?
Happy 31st birthday first.
How about
My,
that?
McNuggets sent me that. He's trying to be early.
I didn't see nothing.
I just wished him a happy birthday.
Oh, I see. Smart.
Hey, Jay,
Smart.
put your mic on the other lapel, please.
Yeah, you know what? If we can, too, can I get an IFB cable?
On it.
Talking a little shop here.
Live on air.
Yeah. But I did want to wish you a happy birthday
You know
first.
what? You did. Actually,
Yeah,
now
you
I
saw it
remember
now, didn't you?
I remember.
You didn't reply to it, but you saw it.
That's not true. I responded
No,
to
you didn't.
everything.
No, you didn't.
Oh, my God.
Busy show today. Cavs they have an interesting little stretch coming up. That loss the other night, inexplicable. The way they're playing some of these teams, inexcusable. I'm telling you, the best version of this Cavaliers team happened to come when Allen and
Mobley's out.
no,
When
not Allen.
and Mitchell
When
was playing.
Allen stepped up,
Yeah.
and Garland and Mobley were out. I mean, you can't find a stretch of this season where they played any better. And they've really kind of struggled to find their identity.
They're the old Cavs, Jay. They're the same team
I hope
last
not.
year.
I hope not. We're gonna talk about
yeah,
that.
we get into it, man. I was disappointed too.
It is disappointing, but we're going to talk about this little stretch that they have coming up because, quite frankly, this is going to be a really interesting stretch. Now, they play a very bad team tonight They should, boat race the Pistons. But they're getting set for a couple of tough games that are Eastern Conference measuring sticks.
Yes, they are.
So what do we want to see tonight out of the Cavs against the Pistons? We're also going to talk, I'm surprised this is on the list, but we're going to talk about Guardians' power at spring training.
Saving it for you, Jay. You were out there.
I know, but the note said that the Guardians' power numbers are way up.
Well, from literally nothing last year, anything is up.
Well, they're not really way up if you look at them.
They had like 8 home runs this year.
Yeah, in 5 games?
Jay, they averaged like 0.3 home runs a game last year.
0.3 is an awful exaggeration. They hit 127 in 162 games.
Okay, so 0.6
So it was more like
versus,
0.7 or 8.
So
Still horrible.
Still,
But we'll talk about that because Mikey wanted to. Thank you for saving that for my return. I'm glad you did. And we're also going to talk about the best college quarterbacks of the 2000s. Were they drunk when they made this list?
it's an ESPN list for the
I'm
record.
shocked to
It's
hear
ESPN.
you.
Well, they may have been.
I'm shocked to hear you say that.
Why?
Because of who was number 1.
Baker Mayfield's the best college quarterback we've had in the last 24 years?
I know you're a fan of his, so.
I'm not a fan of his. What I do is I try to be fair with my assessment of everyone.
Okay.
Was he a really good quarterback? Yeah, he won the Heisman Trophy going away. But the best? Mike, you'll be surprised at who I say is the best.
No, I won't.
Yes, you will.
No, I won't.
Who am I going to say is the best?
That boy that left Ohio State to go to LSU,
No, I'm not.
Cam Newton,
No, I'm not.
Vince Young.
I'm gonna tell you
save
who
it,
later
Jay.
in the
That-
show. And the person that I'm going to tell you was definitively the best quarterback of the 2000s. To me, it's obvious.
Tim Couch.
Tim Couch?
He was
Was he in the
drafted
2000s?
in the
No, he
2000s.
wasn't in the 2000s.
We'll get to that.
I'ma say,
It's an
Nah,
interesting
I
list.
gotta
It's
know
fascinating.
now.
You thought you knew where I was going? You guessed 5 quarterbacks. You were wrong on all 5. Also, thank you for this, Mike. True or false today?
Okay.
So I can finally reclaim the crown from Tyvis. Who's the defending champ?
Well, we
Me?
played it once
Me,
when
ain't it?
Tyvis wasn't
No.
here.
I won.
And G. Bush won technically the last time we played.
Tyvis always says he's the defending champ.
All
I
the
asked
time.
The
him
last
every
time
week.
I was here, I won.
Every time.
That doesn't make you the defending champ.
But the last time I sat in this chair and we played the game, I won.
That's perhaps true.
When it was a 4-man panel,
Yeah.
I won.
Was that December? That's been a long time ago.
That was
dog.
during football season. So
January? 2 months ago?
the title
in
is not
January.
transferable if you're not here to
Y'all,
defend it.
you see this? That's it. So it's because I won it when we had 4 people sitting in the chair, when it's actually fair. Like, how am I not the defending champ?
Tyvis,
Wait,
you
G.
was on
Bush,
a crew
G.
for
Bush,
3
new
months.
information has just come across my desk. Anthony, would you like to hop on the mic and explain what you just told me?
Yes, so the last time we played True and False, Tyvis was here and he lost to G. Bush.
Thank you.
He lost 5-6, and this was an overtime segment. So
Yes.
you can go back and double check. January 24th, overtime.
Nice.
And it was still, I was right, it was in January. That was weeks ago. It is now March. And
It's not months ago.
And and you took
I
that L.
lost to G in overtime?
You was on a cruise for 3 months, bro.
I don't.
How was the cruise, by the way?
You was in there
3
chopping,
months.
chopping it up with Craig Krenzel. And,
What was it? Seriously, was it like a week-long
And
cruise?
Ashton your boat age. He was up there. With D Hills.
Ironically, neither one of those two were on
Was
the
Dom Taberry on the cruise?
Dom did not go on the cruise.
I'm
this year.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Ryan Miller?
Ryan Miller was there. Ryan Miller.
Was Donnie Nicky there?
You know, Donnie Nicky was not there. The cruise was a great experience. They raised over $4 million.
Wow.
They had
Repeat that slower.
the cruise was great.
No, the amount of
They
money that you raised.
over $4 million in a 6-day span.
What
That's
do they go
incredible.
to? Like what
It
charity
goes.
was it?
It's the cancer. It's the James.
Okay.
And down in Columbus,
That's
the
what's up.
James Hospital, cancer research, all of that. So
$4 million.
I think it was like 4. I want to say 4.4. Something
dope.
like that.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
That's great.
Yeah, so it was a good time though. 6 days. They had the current guys on
I
there.
think our invitation got lost in the mail, didn't it, G?
Yeah, they didn't. You know, I'm a Bobcat, so they don't. You know, they don't transfer that. They like,
No, you're okay. I'm a Falcon. I mean, I'm a Buckeye by birth.
Falcon.
Falcon by choice, but I mean,
Yeah,
when
we'll
you're
get
born
it.
in the
You
state,
You
you're a
can pay.
Buckeye.
You can pay to go on.
How much one of them things cost?
Probably 1,500, 2,000.
No, next question.
You're not allowed to say.
No, I want to say it's like $10,000.
No, it's not.
I swear, I think it is.
No.
I think it is because it's all inclusive. So it's like everything.
Hold on.
I do cruises all the time.
I'm telling
so
you.
So does our director. Steve,
this is
for $10,000. Where and how long are you cruising for?
You're in like the big suite upstairs, and it's probably a couple weeks.
Easily 3 weeks. Easily. It's about 1,500
10 racks?
And that's all inclusive.
what cruise line?
Royal Caribbean.
No, this is this is the Silver Dawn. It's like Silver Dawn. It's like
I never heard of the Silver Dawn.
Royal Caribbean. I think the Silver Dawn is.
Is this true?
Very high end. You get your own butler.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a perk that you normally
It's
don't
all
get. You can
inclusive.
pay for that.
You don't have to pay for no drinks because it's all free. So everybody just drinking for free.
For $10,000, you better take me on a 3-week cruise, and it better be to the most exotic locales in the world. I'm not talking no Western Caribbean cruise or Eastern Caribbean.
Well, last year we had 6 stops. We
Yeah.
stopped at all the high end places.
Like,
St. Keeks, St. Bart's,
Yeah.
all of the
the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year we went to 3 stops. We had Grand Turks, Key West, and Freeport.
Interesting. So it really wasn't even, miles-wise, it wasn't even that long.
No, it wasn't.
Well, the bottom line is you raised $4.4 million for cancer, so that's a great thing. Welcome back from your 3-week cruise.
Thank you. I got
Mr. High Roller.
Got me a tan. You know, I'm trying to. This summer I want to get like Wesley Snipes dark.
Oh, Lord.
Do you really?
Lord.
Yeah.
Why?
Somebody, come on, stop.
Well, they always say the blacker the berry, the sweeter the
No,
juice.
stop.
Is that what they say?
Yep.
I haven't heard that one.
No, you're not doing that.
You using sunscreen?
Man, listen.
But the problem is, this is the problem. I was talking to my wife about this. The reason that I can't get dark like that is because my grandmother is Indian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's full blood Indian. So,
Okay.
like
Well, Indians have a dark complexion.
No, but I don't think my undertone is so red that I don't think I can. Like,
Are you talking Native American Indian or
Yeah.
India Indian?
No,
See,
Native
Big
American.
Nugget?
Oh,
See
okay.
see how you step into stuff? We gonna talk about cultural appropriation next.
What?
Were you offended by the name Cleveland Indians?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, because anytime I meet someone of Native American descent,
Hey, we need
I
to
ask that question, and I'm still looking for the majority
I gotta
of
see
Native
the-
Americans that are
Then
offended.
my pops is Jamaican.
I
so
got to see the 23andMe. I need answers.
You don't
Need it?
believe?
Yeah.
You don't believe my grandmother? Is
I need to see the ancestry.
Jay,
Why would I come? You think I would come over here and lie?
23andMe, right? You talk
Yeah.
about surprises.
Yeah,
I
I'm
did the
doing-
23andMe.
I'm not doing 23.
8% African right here, so we've got an all-black panel. I'm not lying. I am not lying. And you know what I did? I figured, okay, so I got to figure this out. You know where Morocco is? You're laughing. I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to show
Hey,
you.
bro, we need to see the Carfax.
And
dog.
Corey was disappointed at this. Here's why. My son was disappointed because Corey said, I hold the record for the longest long jump for a Caucasian American.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know if you can claim that because you're 4%.
Corey, he's 4%. Listen,
Jay,
that's
before you get
crazy.
in trouble, let's get
That's
a
No,
so
listen, hey, you can't get in trouble for telling the truth. Now, let me tell you quickly before we dive into this, because you might be curious to find out how is that true. My mom's descent, mother and father, were born in Italy.
Okay.
And they weren't just born in Italy, they were born in Sicily. And if you know anything about the geography of Italy, that is very, very south. That's the boot.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's way down at the tip.
All right.
Now, Morocco is like 50 miles from Sicily. It's very, very close, which is, of course, the northern tip of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Someone in my either grandmother or grandfather's family was Moroccan descent, which now puts you on the continent of Africa.
Okay.
So I'm guessing that somewhere back a generation or two before my grandparents, there was black ancestry in my family. And it's been washed down to 8%, which I think is only 6 generations. I think I talked to a genealogist about this, and they said, yeah, it's either 5 or 6 generations back.
Boy,
So don't hate.
I'll be finding out stuff every day.
I'm not doing a 23andMe. They say they can clone you. They can use your.
Oh,
they can
that's
use your spit.
McNuggets,
You gotta
please
you
do
gotta
a read.
use a
And who
gallon
wouldn't
of
want more
spit.
Tyvis Powell's running
McNuggets,
around?
please do a read. Do
All right,
two
guys,
reads.
we're going to hop into our first topic today after a quick word from FanDuel. You can bet anything you want in the NBA or NHL world and get buckets daily with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 if your bet wins. You can bet on all your favorite NBA players and teams with quick bets, live same-game parlays, exclusive props, and so much more. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to shoot your shot. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA, an official sportsbook partner of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. And as always, if you have a winning ticket, make sure you send it to us on Twitter. You can email it to us, and we will feature it on the show. Guys, our first topic.
Before you
of the
do
day-
that, on
Yes.
this FanDuel thing, have we had any big winning tickets recently?
We had 2 this week. Two pretty big winners this week.
Did you guys see the video of? I'm going to send this to you, Mike, and I hope you can show this. It's just while we're on the subject of betting. This is a video that I'm wondering, is the NBA going to get involved with this or not? It's something that we have to see and at least acknowledge and talk about just for a second. I meant to send you this yesterday. I just sent it to you. I think you can show it on Tagboard. This is fascinating, and I don't know what the NBA is going to do about it, if they can do anything about it. But this is what happens when leagues embrace gambling and apps and all of that. It's a crazy video. It didn't go as viral as I thought it would, but it may today.
Give us 1 sec.
Okay.
What happened?
Yeah. So there is a fan, and the video speaks for itself. There is a fan sitting right behind the 76ers bench.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And it's late in the game, and he's got a big parlay worth $10,000 on the line. Do you have the video?
Yeah, we can play it.
Go ahead and show it. Why? It speaks for itself. Watch this. I need 2 3-pointers. I got you.
Bad.
Going back in the game, boom, 10K.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? I would do that.
That is messing with the integrity of the game.
I like that.
I would do that.
Now,
wait. I love that Gene likes it.
Buddy Hield might be the realest dude in the NBA
like
for
that.
that right there.
No, that's what I said. I immediately said, wow, there goes the fan club.
Oh, my God.
But think about the ramifications of that, guys. We had the bet on the Super Bowl. This was second-level genius. There was a guy at the Super Bowl that placed a $50,000 bet that there would indeed be a streaker at the game. He bought a ticket that cost him $10,000, and
saw
then
this.
he became the streaker and made hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true.
Genius.
Hey,
Why didn't I think of that?
That's dope.
Oh,
That's
my
great.
Now, what he did that was wrong was he was streaking too early. It was early in the game. As I remember it, I think it was the first quarter. I'm going to wait until the fourth quarter. I'm going to enjoy the Super Bowl.
You know what?
Because he spent a night in jail, and I think he got a $1,500 fine. But net, this guy's up 6 figures.
I think
on a bet
You think he care about spending the night in jail?
No.
if he caught the right judge, they would have hit him with they could have made it where he wouldn't make no money.
They could have.
They could have been like, listen,
I don't know. I mean, I think there are parameters.
There's parameters and statutes, but judges, I've learned in the last 20 years, are all powerful. They do whatever they want.
Well, isn't that the truth?
Judges do whatever they want. They could have been like, yeah, you thought you was cute. You're going to spend all of your money, all your winnings, and give it to charity. I'm mandating the charity you give it to.
Yeah, it was fascinating.
that
But
was
it
genius.
brings up a new question on this, because this gambling frontier is a wild, wild west.
Yeah.
But that video
Buddy is
was
real.
astonishing to me.
I'm about to put Buddy
Shout out
on-
to Buddy Hield.
Buddy going on
What I
every
love
parlay
was
of mine.
he looked at him and he said, I got you.
That's the best
Then
part.
he goes up to the coach and says, I need back in the game, and immediately shoots 2 threes.
I'm glad they lost. Shout out to FanDuel. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Because you know how many 1 point? I think me, Tyvis, and Earl done spent probably like $15,000 in just parlays.
And missing by
Whoa,
one.
whoa. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. I ain't betting like that.
No, but all of the
Allegedly.
parlay, all the $10 parlays add up.
Well, this is the thing. So put the camera on me because I just had this argument with my friends like maybe 2 weeks ago. I told them, you know what, y'all, I'm done gambling. I'm done with it.
Wow, you're finished.
Done with the parlays. And because I'm tired of being just one off, just one thing.
Yeah.
And their response to me, which is sad that they're right on this, says, Tyvis, you've hit more parlays than anybody I know. You've hit for 15, 800, 700, 500.
Then keep going.
You are still using FanDuel's money. So you're good.
Yeah,
Because
keep
it's
going.
not like I'm only $10 is the most. That's it.
That's a smart way. You're doing it the smart way.
$10, that's it.
All right, we've gone way over. I'm sorry, Mike.
Yeah, let's get into some topics today. We're going to start with this question. We saw Joe Flacco win the 2023 NFL Comeback Player of the Year award. He only played 5 games for the Browns. He beat out a guy who died on the football field and then came back and played in limited capacity. He also beat out Baker Mayfield and Matthew Stafford, who had different comeback stories of their own right. So the Browns, entering 2024, have 2 players coming off catastrophic injuries. Deshaun Watson missed 11 games with the shoulder injury. Nick Chubb got injured in week 2. So between Nick Chubb and Deshaun Watson, which of these 2 Browns players has the better chance to win the 2024 NFL Comeback Player of the Year entering this new season? Who wants to start us off?
Deshaun Watson.
No kidding.
And why?
Because the Browns are doing, they're going to tailor make this offense so it can fit him. They want to throw the ball. They're going out and literally going to try to get a wide receiver to help him. They're bringing in a new offensive play caller that specializes in shotgun and throwing the ball deep down the field. So I think that if anybody, he's going to have the numbers. He's going to have the support from his organization to be able to do so. Nick Chubb, the only reason I don't think Nick Chubb will be able to get it because I'm not 100% sure when Nick Chubb will play in the season. I'm pretty sure Deshaun will be the starting quarterback week 1. Nick Chubb, when you come back from those type of injuries, it might take you 3 to 4 weeks. So now you're already behind in that, and then it's going to take you a minute to get revved up again. So I just think it's going to take too long for him to take off to have the numbers to win Comeback Player of the Year. To whereas Deshaun Watson coming right out of the gate, he'll already have the new weapons, he'll have the new play calling, and I think that is tailor-made for him to be able to win Comeback Player of the Year.
I'm going to tell you this. In some circles around the NFL, they give the comeback player of the year to O.J. Simpson before they give it to Deshaun Watson.
You might be right.
You think like come on, man. You really think like these people do not? There's people in our own fan base that don't like him. Like, we've seen multiple opportunities and multiple times where people.
So if he threw for 5,000 yards,
don't matter.
You don't think he gets
No.
comeback player of the year?
No.
Well, now wait a minute.
That's ridiculous.
There's people in our fan base that ran the last quarterback out of town, and he damn near won the Comeback Player of the Year award. Baker just missed to Joe.
Narratives. I watch politics and I watch a lot of different things on all over the spectrum. And one thing during polling season they always talk about, they poll people, is that narratives and the way you feel about somebody overshadows what that person does in real life. Like, you'll vote for somebody. It don't matter if they do any bills or do any legislation. They just like the guy, so they vote. It's on both sides, so that's how it goes down. So when you talk about these awards, Comeback Player of the Year is a subjective award given by writers and different people in the media to people that they like. You got to be likable to win Comeback Player of the Year, right? You like, yeah, Joe Flacco came in and you see how much they like Joe Flacco. It had a nice story. It was nice packaging. But do you think that they're going to go into next year and give him either the MVP or the Comeback Player of the Year or the Offensive Player of the Year, because they got to say, they sit in these boardrooms and say, well, what are we going to do? We just going to say he was good? You know, we got to put a disclaimer at the end about this, and that. You know, how are we going to handle these, you know, what do we do about the cases? What do we say about, nah, listen, give it to Chubb. Chubb's the easy choice.
There is something to that. I remember in the Super Bowl in Tampa when the Ravens won the game and Ray Lewis was lights out. I don't know if Ray Lewis was MVP of that Super Bowl or not. That was probably Super Bowl 38, maybe.
When you played
It was the Ravens and
they beat the Giants. He was the MVP.
He was the MVP of the game. He played a great game. And Disney, for their famous "I'm going to Disney World" commercial,
went to somebody else.
Went to Trent Dilfer. And they were the dilemma they were looking at was just the year before at the Super Bowl in Atlanta. Ray Lewis was implicated as an accessory to murder. Now, he ended up not being convicted of that crime, but there was a lot of smoke around that crime. He was with a group that was involved in an altercation. A man was stabbed and bled to death. And the suit that he was infamously wearing that night disappeared. They never found it. He said he put it in a box, a FedEx box, and shipped it back to his home, and he doesn't know what happened. FedEx lost it.
That's crazy.
Well, it was a convenient story.
That's crazy.
But to your point, he put the league in a really difficult position when he won the MVP, and historically, it is the winner of the MVP that does the famous, you just won the Super Bowl. What are you going to do now? And Disney and perhaps the NFL
no parts
did
of that.
not want the face of Ray Lewis as the I'm going to Disney World, so they instead went to Trent Dilfer. So there is precedent of what you're talking about.
And Jay, think about it like this. Kobe Bryant has one MVP.
Which is still astonishing to me.
Why?
Well, it had to do with the charges in Colorado.
He had to change his number. He had to cut his hair. He had to he had to change his whole life.
Gee, he had to die to get the flowers he deserved.
Yes.
That's essentially what happened, because after his tragic death in a helicopter crash, then you found nobody that was willing to whisper anything bad about Kobe.
At all.
You did?
No, go read the obits
Yes,
for
you
Kobe
did.
Bryant. It was stunning how the narrative had changed.
Gayle King? Didn't she do something like that?
Yeah, but listen, of course you're going to have detractors from every corner, but
saying, don't do
by and
that.
large, he's not. You know how with artists and musicians, your stuff becomes better the second you die?
Yep.
Yeah.
When Kobe passed, it was nothing but a love fest for one of the greatest to ever play the game, yet they could only give the man MVPs?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. Like I listened to, you got to think about it. Before you even started, people were telling you, national pundits, Tyvis was like, I just don't. Dan Patrick, and I love Dan Patrick. Dan Patrick was like, you know what? It's not fun. I'm not going to watch Cleveland. I don't have any excitement in watching.
Well, you had
Cleveland.
a reporter at the NFL Network said, I feel dirty talking about the Browns.
So if you think they're going to vote for him for comeback, and they're going to say, well, what did he come back from?
An injury.
An injury.
Oh, so that saves. But here's the thing, that saves them from not. So he played 5 games because of the injury, right? If he would have never been injured, right, then he would have been sitting there and talking about allegations.
I don't know.
right?
I feel like if this man goes out there and throw for 5,000 yards, the Browns go 12-5 in the regular season, and he's thrown for 40 touchdowns.
Tyvis, I think the bigger question here is the MVP award. I think if he plays well enough to be considered for a most valuable player, I could see the league instead shoving him the comeback player of the year award as it's a nice little consolation prize, but we're not giving you the big enchilada. For him to win the MVP, he would have to be so overwhelmingly.
This question don't say that.
No, I know it doesn't, but I think G's point is now. I will say this: as much as America, this is what America loves. America loves the Johnny Manziel story, and here's why: he rose from nowhere. No one knew his name. He was 5th string on the depth charts. Within 4 weeks of the college football season, everybody in America knew his name. He goes on to win the Heisman Trophy. He's drafted in the 1st round. They build you up
to shoot you down,
to tear you down. Mm-hmm. But what they really love that they didn't get from the Manziel story, and they may well get from the Deshaun Watson story, is the comeback. They like it to go full circle. They build you up. They tear you down. And then you come back from the dead. Michael Vick.
I was about to say, did Vick come back?
Michael Vick got flowers when he came back.
But
took him a minute.
Michael Vick came back, and some would argue Michael Vick was broken. Michael Vick, before Mike Vick went in, cornrows, rap music, dog fighting. He came out, #1 lineup, no dogs, no animals, and chilling.
He wore number 7.
#1 Clippers.
Oh, you on the side?
You see,
he was talking hair, not jersey.
That was a he came out with that #1, and you know what? He got with Andy Reid.
Well, don't call it #1. You talking?
That's the #1 blade.
He faded his size.
Jay, that was undercover ball.
Yeah, he faded his size. I don't want to hear that.
And he did. Now you said he got with Andy Reid. He also got with Tony Dungy.
Tony Dungy did a whole lot to help him revamp.
A big part of Tony's mission on this planet is to help young African American men that did not have guidance in their home, a strong male figure. And he really did an incredible job. And now Michael Vick's name doesn't leave a sour taste in your mouth. We like Michael Vick.
They put him on TV.
Like put him on TV.
Tony Dungy got him back on TV, and that's crazy. I thought one of the biggest things, even see, people want contrition, right? And so it all depends on how your attitude is. So Michael Vick came out and he said this comment like, you know what, for me, I'm just hurt because I could never own another dog in my life. And I'm an animal lover, and because of what I did, like, you know, that really hurts me. Like, it's just like, you know, he said, you know, I kind of see that these as like my kids or something, and I can never own another animal. Like, so he was contrite about it. But here's the thing with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson has always stated and always said, and he says, I did not do nothing. I'm innocent of what it is, and he has been steadfast on that. So the thing is, when I put up a post and say, what do you guys would like to say to Deshaun Watson, or what would it take for you to like him like you like Joe Flacco, and even some of y'all like Baker? And a lot of those comments were saying, if he would just cut the crap and admit to what he did and move on. So there's a lot of people that still believe he should admit to these things.
To something that he insists he never did.
So
you know what I'm wondering? At some point during his initial months back with the Browns, he had said or hinted to the fact that we're going to tell our side of the story. And the speculation was, he's got a group working on a documentary that's going to tell his side. I anxiously await that documentary.
He might have to wait to his career.
Well,
like, it was like the Last Dance joint.
Yeah, but anybody can independently produce anything they want.
Wait, Deshaun got a documentary?
If he did.
Either his lawyer, agent, or Deshaun made a comment about, I'm done talking about this, but we are going to tell our story.
Right.
Our story will be told one day.
Yeah.
And that, I'm anxious to hear it, because if you sit in a courtroom and you listen to either side, the prosecution or the defense, and you just listen to one side, you will leave that courtroom believing what they told you. That's because the other side wasn't allowed to punch holes in it. I want to hear his side of the story. And I hope one day we do, because I think like most...
Man, I wish I was in the locker room. I'd have been heard it.
Well, I'm sure he's probably told his side of the story to close confidants and friends. But what I'm interested to see is, I think, to your point, I think most of America, and by most I mean probably more than 50%, believe that the truth is in the middle of what they said and what he said. Did something hanky-panky go on in these massages? I think most logically thinking Americans think that something sexual did. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Deshaun Watson may have said whatever happened was consensual. So now you get into the weeds on the details of what happened. And was he forcing himself on these women? We don't know. But I do want to hear his side of the story.
McNuggets, you see what this just proves my point. We started with Deshaun Watson, comeback player of the year, right? And for everybody that's voting, for everybody that's in those rooms that decide that, right? You can't talk about his comeback, his MVP, his play on the field, because these are the certain conversations that always tend to bubble up, right?
They will.
Even if you start at a good place, if you start at a real safe place of, okay, well, let's judge his skill set on the field and his merits of this award. There's going to be 2 or 3 people that's going to delve into that, because that goes into their thought process.
Well, in fairness, you brought that up.
I see.
I think Tyvis kept it all on the field. I'll answer this quickly.
It's going to come down to 2 people, him or Aaron Rodgers next year.
Oh, that's really hard to say. Because nobody would have told you last year that it's going to come down to Baker and Joe Flacco.
Remember this.
Nobody.
Clip it.
Okay, so here's my answer. My answer is, and I took a different approach. You went strictly on the field. You went public image. First of all, there's an assumption in this question. The assumption is both are going to play at a high enough level to be considered for this award. That is a huge leap of faith.
Yes.
And some people might not be able to build a bridge to that point. And here's why. Nick Chubb had not the first devastating knee injury. He suffered the second devastating knee injury of his career. I mean, when you look at that hit, you can't help but wince and grab your own knee. It is painful to watch. So the bridge to go from that hit in week 2 of the season to him playing well enough next year to be considered as the comeback player of the year is a bridge perhaps too far for some. The other bridge for Deshaun Watson might be too far for others. Here's why. We've seen Nick Chubb put comeback player of the year performances on the table very recently. His last full season. If he was the year before, if Nick Chubb didn't play at all and he played the way he did in 22 next year, he's the comeback player of the year. Nobody's expecting that. But is it so my question was, which bridge is furthest? The one that Nick Chubb can play that way again, or the one that Deshaun Watson can play that way again? And because Nick Chubb has done it more recently, and he is more responsible for his quality of play than the quarterback, and there's reasons for that, the quarterback has to have great receiver play.
Yep.
Nick Chubb can be Nick Chubb with mediocre line play. We've seen him do it.
I say he done it.
So for me, I think that it's more likely that Nick Chubb can get back to that level because Deshaun Watson would have to play at the Houston Texans Deshaun Watson level next year for him to be the comeback player of the year. And I still don't know. I haven't seen enough of it.
To me, this is one of the most very interesting narratives, storylines I'll be looking at going into next year. I believe if Nick Chubb comes back and runs for 1,000 yards, it's his award.
I would agree with that.
I don't disagree with that.
Just because of who Nick Chubb is. He's a guy people want to root for.
People love him.
People love him in city, out of city, local, national. Everybody loves Nick Chubb, and for him to come back, but not this would be his second major knee surgery, right? For him to come back and be able to do that, and if the Browns are good, they're automatically going to say, no, we got to give it to Nick Chubb. We're not dealing with it. Now, Deshaun, to me, I think he will have a really good year. I really want him to press the envelope. I want him to play so good that it has to be forced that we talk about it. Like, I mean, he's playing out of his mind right now.
Right.
Because you'll get a couple people. You know how it is on ESPN or some of the NFL network. There's going to be some former player. Shout out to Ryan Clark. I can't believe that Ryan Clark didn't get. He ain't not on ESPN no more, man.
Is that true?
Yes. Now he's not on ESPN no more.
Why?
Contract.
They didn't renew Ryan Clark?
Contract dispute.
No, they did. He just got a $3 million a year extension.
Nah, I just saw it, man. Go check that.
Oh, you got to get to the bottom of this.
Check that. He's not on
Ryan
that.
Clark-
I just saw him on the pivot. He was talking about it. So
See, that was last week's episode.
yeah, so we'll see what it was. But here's
Well, wait a minute. Maybe
check
he was
that.
using that as a negotiating ploy, and they came through with the
'Cause
contract.
I
can't imagine they wouldn't renew Ryan
I
Clark.
was sitting there watching the episode. I'm like, man, that's crazy. They're not renewing him.
He signed a new multi-year deal worth $3 million a year with
Oh,
ESPN.
When he signed that, like last week?
3 days ago.
Okay, 3 days ago. So yeah, he might have.
You scared me there for a second.
Great negotiation, Ryan
I was
Clark.
gonna
I
be like,
love
no,
that.
Oh,
worse
Ryan
than I
Clark's a
thought.
great guy,
Yeah.
and he's very good at his job.
So yeah, so you know when we look at it, there'll be some guys that are going to say that have played in the league. Forget the narrative stuff, but this guy's playing lights out. And I will give him this: he is a quarterback. Quarterbacks have a way, and I'll give it to Bull too. Bull says this: if Deshaun Watson comes out and he's playing lights out, there'll be more people in Cleveland that get on board, and that'll help block out.
Well, that
some of the
always
noise.
is the case. If you win, people
After-
forget.
After
look at the
Baltimore,
stuff-
they was all on. Everybody,
Right.
yeah,
You're right.
I mean, Pittsburgh had the Pittsburghers that had problem with Ben Roethlisberger.
He won that Super
They
Bowl.
quickly forgot when he won another Super Bowl. It's winning.
Cures off.
When you win, your fan base is extensive. And the other thing is the critics that are out there, and there will always be critics, they've got nothing to chirp about, so they get
Right.
quiet real quick.
Yeah, you don't want to look crazy.
It's like all the Baker Bros
Yeah, you don't want to look crazy.
that were screaming he should be the guy. They got real quiet when Carolina cut him.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
got real vocal when he went to Tampa and played well enough to be the comeback player of the year.
Oh, it was a firestorm when he balled out in the playoffs. He won that playoff game. Woo!
Oh, it was nuts.
It was everywhere.
It was nuts. So the critics get quiet And that's why I always say about Deshaun Watson, get your nose out of social media. You want to shut up the critics? Just win. It works every time. They've got nothing to chirp about if you are winning. Yeah. So, and one of those statements before we move on with this. If Deshaun Watson and Nick Chubb are both in the consideration for Comeback Player of the Year award, the Browns are making a deep playoff run next year.
Oh, they balling. Both of them.
Because there's certain boxes that you have to check before you can say we can contend for a Super Bowl. If you can check the box that Deshaun Watson's playing at an MVP or a Comeback Player of the Year level, and you can check the box that Nick Chubb returned, because that's one of the biggest question marks coming into the season next year. What will Nick be? If you can check that box, those are two of the biggest questions. This team is making a deep playoff run next year if both Nick and Deshaun are in that conversation.
We'll talk Cavs in one sec, Ty, but question for you guys. Let's see how good your memory is. Adrian Peterson had a catastrophic knee injury, came back the following season. Do you think he won Comeback Player of the Year following his knee injury?
I don't know that he did, because
he came back and won MVP, I think, or Offensive Player of the Year.
Did he have a problem where he was suspended for discipline? He was paddling.
Was that the same year?
I don't know if it was the same year. I'm asking if it was that.
I thought that was afterwards.
It might have been.
I don't know what that situation was.
That situation.
He had like two.
I know it happened. I don't remember what year.
Oh,
Peterson did not win Comeback Player of the Year that year. He lost to Peyton Manning. However, he beat Peyton Manning out for the MVP.
See, I was
that's even better.
Those two were the two finalists for MVP.
I mean, he
Comeback
came
Player
back.
of the Year.
What did he rush for? Did he go for
2,000?
Yeah, that was 9 yards short of Eric Dickerson's single season record with 2,109 yards.
See, that
age
man
27.
is the freak of all freaks, and he did it in 8 months, guys. From the tear
to my boy Chris Johnson
to his return was 8 months.
That's shout out to Adrian
Makes
Peterson,
no
man.
sense.
He's going through some financial issues at this moment.
I know he is, which it's just terrible.
Gosh, man.
Terrible. Well, he was fleeced.
AP going through financial problems.
Man,
he was fleeced by either his financial advisor or a family member that he was using as a financial
Someone did him
advisor.
dirty.
Yeah,
terrible.
They confiscated his trophies and everything, dog.
Yeah, all right, we're going to move on, talk a little Cavs, and if you want to see the Cavs in person, coming up, they have home games against the Knicks, the Celtics, the Suns, and some other big-time teams. You better be using Game Time to find your tickets. Game Time takes all the guesswork out of buying last-minute tickets. You can see the view from your seat, and their best price guarantee with Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, just create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON, that is LOCKEDON, for $20 off. I used it for the Bulls game the last time Chicago came to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. It made it simple, easy to use, would highly, highly recommend. Just download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And speaking of those Cleveland Cavaliers, they head to Detroit tonight for a game against the Pistons before then coming back to Cleveland for a 2 games and 3 nights matchup with the Knicks and then the Celtics. So tonight, Donovan Mitchell is listed as questionable. So is Karis LeVert. But what do you guys need to see from this Cleveland Cavaliers team to erase what happened from your mind on Wednesday night and get them ready for a test coming up against 2 of the Eastern Conference's top contenders?
They better be up 20 and sitting out in the fourth quarter. That's the only way. Because there's not a lot you can really prove against Detroit to me. I mean, the problem for me was the rebounding problem, especially with Jared Allen.
Oh, my God.
I mean, don't they got a good rebounder? Jalen Duren, don't he play for them?
He's 5th in the league in rebounds.
Okay,
every time these teams have played this season, by the way, the Cavs have won all 3 games. They won by 8 in the first matchup, by 9 in the second matchup, and 7 in the third matchup. But 2 of those 3 games were way closer than the final score actually ended up being. So
like
one of them they should have lost. It felt to me like they were going.
I need a dominant performance. I mean, that's because I'm still upset about this. I can't believe y'all lost the Chicago game, and I know that y'all got the Knicks coming up on Sunday, and I know y'all gonna be trying to think about that game. So for me, you'll need to handle business early, so everybody's sitting out in the fourth quarter, so y'all can get yourself geared up for that game. If this game comes down and it's close, and y'all gotta grit it out, it's sad to me.
Man, these Cavs, man, they're almost as frustrating sometimes as the Browns a little bit. Because the problem I got with the Cavs is if you say anything remotely like constructive or neutral or negative, they just fold up. Oh my gosh, why would you say that to us? We had 51 wins last year. The GM apologizes for them. JB just apologizes for him all the time. And it's annoying to me. That man sits up there and he yells at the ref on every single call, the whole game. Then he gets in the huddle and can't draw up out of bounds plays. Then you can't get in the huddle and come up with a way to get a good shot and stop the bleeding. My thing about JB and the thing about the Cavs, and I've been saying it because I've watched pretty much every single Cavs game this year. I told McNuggets.
Who you got, DirecTV?
Man, I got all the packages.
Ooh.
All of them. I got Bally's, Snaps. Don't tell my wife. She already is questioning me on some other stuff, bro.
Gee, why is our cable bill $900?
Because I'm watching FIBA soccer and I don't know how to play.
Hey, this is the United States. That's what they pay for cable.
Is right now. This guy, and this is not refutable. They are not playing the same style of basketball they were playing when they were successful.
Nope.
That's the elephant in the room. Even the rotations. Why is Sam Merrill not playing? He's one of the best lethal jump shooters in the game, but you still keep trying these little rotations, and I don't want to see Evan Mobley and Jared Allen playing no more. That's why half the reason they cancel each other out. You're not using your best. Why is George Niang not playing? What's up with your rotations? And the elephant in the room is this. They keep force-feeding this Darius Garland game, and I'm just telling you, bro.
Wait, he balled last game.
Listen, let me tell you this.
7 for 14 from Trey.
That's dope. That's great. That's dope. But what buckets was he getting on the other end?
We talking about?
They was giving him buckets too.
Oh, defensive?
Yes.
Oh, he's a liability defensively.
And he throws.
Anybody that's a small guard is a defensive liability.
He throw the basketball more away than we throw money at FanDuel away. Like
Don't do that.
He just turning take it here.
Game parlay.
Here you go. 15-leg parlay. 6 turnovers. Bro, it's just like I don't understand it, man. They're not and I'm gonna get a good look at them. Because Mikey, what's their schedule coming up?
Well, the two after Detroit are really good.
Yeah, so you have
Boston
Detroit
and
tonight.
Knicks.
Yep.
Then they're home against New York.
The Knicks
on
first,
Sunday.
and then Boston.
Home
then the
against
Sun.
Boston.
Woo!
Then they hit the road and take on Atlanta.
Woo!
And then a 3-game home stretch where they welcome Minnesota, Brooklyn, and Phoenix. And then it's not done yet. Then they hit the road: New Orleans, Houston, Indiana, Miami, Minnesota, Miami. To close
So the
out
next
month.
12 games are going to be a real yardstick.
We're going to
Yes.
learn a lot between today
We're gonna figure out what
March
they is,
24th. We're going to
We're
learn.
gonna figure out.
After them
Gee,
12 games, he better know his rotation.
I couldn't be more in line with your thinking. When the Cavs were in the midst of their best basketball that we've seen in years, it was Mobley and Garland on the bench. They were out with injury.
Yep.
And we kept saying, well, they're doing this against mostly bad teams. But then they beat some good teams at the end of that stretch. And then Mobley came back, and I thought their play was still at a pretty high level.
Yeah.
They kind of staggered him, didn't they? Mobley
well,
and Allen.
They were trying to, instead of keeping both of the guys that do a lot of the same things on the floor at the same time, they were trying to go 4 out, 1 in. Mm-hmm. Then Garland came back. And guys, that's when they've hit their stretch of not such great basketball. Now, Mike, I know that you're saying there's no scenario where this team can be better without Darius Garland. I understand that that's and you're sticking to that premise. All I know is what my eyes tell me when I watch. I can't get into the nitty-gritty as to why. I have some theories as to why, but I'm telling you guys, they're not the same team.
Can I mention one thing real quick?
Yes.
I just want to tell everyone out there, and I'll speak to you here, Jay, but I know you have a similar mindset as a lot of the fans. Do not get confused by regular season basketball as opposed to the needs of a team in a postseason series.
But
They
we're
are
comparing
A and B.
apples to apples because the stretch without them was regular season basketball, and the stretch with Mobley back is regular season basketball. So why did they look so good in the regular season with Garland out and I don't want to say struggled, they haven't looked as good.
Do you know what their record in Mobley's first 8 games back were? 8-0.
Yeah, I can't remember a loss. Now, I think they're 6-4 in their last 10?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're 6-4 in the last 10, correct?
Okay, now let's just go back. What was the win streak at one point? Was it 13?
They've won 18 of 20 before the break.
Okay, 18 of 20. And now we're 6-4 in the last 10. We've lost double the games in half the sample size.
Well,
And points is down, too.
Mitchell missed 2 of those games.
I understand that. I get that. And that's fair to point out. But those were games against teams they should have been able to beat without Donovan Mitchell.
I think.
And by the way,
I don't disagree with that.
by the way, Donovan Mitchell being out and they're losing to horrible teams. Darius Garland was out and we were boat racing teams. The margin of victory during that 18-2 stretch was double digit. It was like damn near 20 points a game, Mike.
Yeah,
Now-
but I wouldn't say Orlando and Philadelphia, who they lost without Mitchell, are horrible teams. I mean, they're both playoff teams right now.
Yeah, but Orlando's not the team that they should have beaten Orlando. Okay,
Listen, I don't.
and I still think they
I
should have
don't
beaten
disagree.
Philadelphia.
I don't disagree in premise. I'm just saying what Darius brings to this team in a postseason series is different than what Darius.
Well, we didn't see
hold
that.
on, hold on.
We didn't see that last year.
And that could be worse, McNuggets. You saying Darius what he gonna give you in the regular season? This is the scary part. They're not blitzing yet.
No.
They're not trapping ball handlers. They're not forcing him.
They did that. Well, they didn't do that to Darius. They did that to Donovan last year. The Knicks did, I think.
I just watched the
And
Knicks.
that's when Darius started actually making plays. They started getting the ball in Darius.
When
And
Darius,
that's why he's important, because when teams focus on Donovan,
And I understand that.
and decide,
You want a
hey,
second
Donovan, you're
outlet.
not going to kill us. You need somebody else who can be a creator.
well,
Now,
here's my thing.
G. Bush, real quick. G. Bush, then I'll let you go, I promise. On Tuesday's Ultimate Camp Show, we decided what's fair and what's unfair criticism of Darius Garland. Here are things I think you can legitimately hold against Darius, and he has not played up to the level you expect him to play at this season. So anyone who wants to criticize Darius, these are some stats you could point to maybe why he hasn't been as good. Now, this was from Tuesday. The numbers may be slightly different. It's been 2 games since, but bear with me. On catch-and-shoot threes, which is what he has to make in a 2-guard set, he's shooting 31.9% this season.
Okay.
A career low. He shot 44% on catch-and-shoot threes last season. If you're going to play 2 undersized guards, they both have to be able to make shots when the other drives kicks out. 32% from Darius Garland is not good enough. Point-blank period. He made 7 threes against Chicago. For the season, he's shooting a career worst 33% from 3. In terms of usage, his usage is about the same rate it was when he was an all-star. His turnover percentage and turnover rate slightly up. Can't have Darius Garland turn the ball over.
It's
That's
only
a fair
slightly up?
criticism. Say it again.
It's only slightly up because to me it feels like it's more than slightly.
Well, when you average out how much it's the turnover percentage is based off usage rate. So his usage rate is down, his turnovers are slightly up, so the percentage is up. But the
Right.
actual numbers are essentially the same.
Okay.
So it's slightly up. But here's the other one, and G, this is what I bet you're going to get at. Assists are a weird stat because you have to make a shot to get an assist.
Right.
So you can make a bunch of great passes, everyone misses, okay, you don't get the numbers. This is a potential assist per game. So passes to open shots, total number. In 2021, his sophomore season, 11.4. In 2022, his all-star season, 15.6. In 2023, last season, his first with Donovan Mitchell, 12.9. This season, 2024, the lowest of his career, 11.2.
What does that tell you?
He's not being as aggressive as he needs to be.
exactly right.
And he's being hesitant in decisions. So, there are a lot of fair criticisms of Darius Garland. He has not lived up to the level of play the Cavs need him to be at. But the whole idea that they're not better without Darius, that's where I kind of push back. I still think what he brings is necessary and they don't have anyone else who can necessarily do that, but he has not played to the level the Cavs need him to play at this season.
And what I'm telling you is he's not going to play at that level when Donovan Mitchell is there. Because if you play both of them at the same time, it's like you could just watch them. Think about this. And this is what's going to happen in the playoffs. They're going to force a switch on a pick and roll, McNuggets. You know that. If whoever Darius Garland is guarding, they're like, no, switch that pick and roll, and I want him right here at the point of attack. And he has trouble staying in front of people. He has to foul people. And by the way, have you noticed he's struggling at finishing at the rim, and the refs are not giving him that call. Like, I watched in Chicago. He goes up for a layup. He gets hit, they're like, nah, bro, we ain't giving you that. You're not going to get that call in the playoffs. He's slight of build, and if he's not aggressive and he's not knocking down three-point shots, he's a ball stopper, right? So you can't play both of those guys at the same time. But the problem is JB don't have the heart to do that. The organization does not have the heart to go to him and say, look, man, we like what you did. You're still a max player, but we got to revamp what you do, because this doesn't fit. He pounds the basketball, and he plays ring around the rosy under the basket, and then when he gets trapped, he throws the ball and he gets tipped. He's too loose with the ball. My thing is this. A good coach, a solid coach, they do whatever they need to do to get it done. Tibbs would have been like, no. We gonna come sit by me real quick. JB, he's the dad that wants his kids to be his friends. He wants to be his friends. They want to go out and have fun. Guys' night out. No, them is your kids. At some point in time, JB gonna have to make some tough decisions and say, yeah, I like you, but guys, this is the way we're gonna play. And if you're not willing to play that way, you're gonna see your minutes diminish. That's just what it is. What it is.
Well,
he
then, G,
refuses to do
who
it.
are you replacing Garland with then? So
That's what
in
I
a
wanna
situation where they're playing, we'll pick a team, Knicks, just for example, in a playoff series, and like they did last year, they blitzed Donovan on a pick and roll, forced them to give up and give it to someone else and play 4-on-3. Who would you rather
Mike,
have in
though,
that spot than Darius?
Now that question is moot because the roster is what it is now.
No, I know. That's my point.
I was bringing up that question before the trade, and what I was saying was before the trade deadline, and I at that point I had seen enough. I know what the best version of this Cavs team looks like. I know what it is, and it's not this current version. So what I was saying was, despite the fact that everybody's saying you're not going to trade him, you could have made a trade and got a boatload and got players that could have filled that role that weren't going to take up as much oxygen in the room and could still be a facilitator in this playoff scenario you speak of when teams start taking Garland away. And by the way, Allen and Mobley can step the hell up too.
And that's valid. I just don't think you're getting the return for Garland I think you think you're getting.
Why not?
He's an undersized, often injured, highly paid, middle-of-the-pack point guard.
Well, he's overpaid. I'll give you that. But I still think he was a piece.
He's a piece, but, me and G have talked about this. Darius Garland is a top 13 point guard in the NBA.
Yeah, he's upper half, for sure.
He gets paid a lot of money.
He's
injured often.
He is kind of and the Cavs are a victim of his contract.
Who's giving up
now.
a wing or a ton of assets for that?
You asked me who do you want to see play? It's a very easy question. If I'm already going to give up something on a defensive end,
Sam Merrill.
I got Sam Merrill, who is not hesitating off that pick and roll McNuggets.
Not Imani Bates?
No. Listen, we talk real talk. G. Bush talking real talk today. If you messing around and you can't go, if you want to hesitate over the screen, I got Sam Merrill who will come off screens, and I got Max Strus in the corner, and I got Isaac Okoro in the corner. And Isaac is shooting about 40% from the corner. Now I got spread guys out where you can't help off none of them. You can't help off none of them dudes.
What do you say to that?
Once again, if it's a standalone shot, yeah, Merrill's going to make it. But when they blitz Mitchell up top, you trust Merrill to go 4-on-3 as the lead ball handler in that situation, G?
I trust Sam Merrill.
I love Sam Merrill. He's my favorite Cav.
Because here's the thing, McNuggets, when they swing it, the ball not going to stick. See, if I got Darius Garland in the game, they swing it to him, he catch the ball, guess what he going to do first? Dribble.
Well, he should be going forward. If it's Merrill and he swings to the corner, then the defense enough time to rotate back. It's an imperfect science. In a perfect world, Darius Garland at his 2022 or even last season level, 44% catch and shoot from three, 13 potential assists per game. You slide that in with the improvement to Mobley and Allen.
Yeah, but how do you get that back?
He's not doing that.
I hope it's confidence. And Donovan came out. G, but at some point, they can't make any other moves. So this is what we're stuck with.
No. Now you're stuck.
Yeah, this is what you're stuck with.
Now you're stuck.
But what I'm saying, is if somebody has shown you, I'm hitting Sam Merrill, I'm hitting 45% of my threes. I'm hitting mid-40s off the catch and shoot. If he's shown you that and Darius is struggling, you can't just keep going with Darius at certain points, hoping he gets his confidence back because you're losing games.
He just hit 7 threes last game, so we'll see what he does tonight.
He played well last game. He just hit 7 threes. But here's what we're talking about. We're talking about what does this look like in the playoffs?
That's the key.
That's the key. Now, if it was me, I blitz Donovan Mitchell. I get the ball out of his hands, and I tell them, let Darius Garland beat us. And I'm putting a bigger body on him. New York is able to do that. They can have a bigger, more physical guard on him. They got length. A lot of these teams got length, and that's the thing that really hurts his ability to score and get to the basket. For me, I'm putting it all on his shoulders. I said, listen, we're not going to let Donovan beat us. Darius Garland going to have to hit for 40 a game.
Mike, I understand what you're saying, and I do, and it does sound like we're
It's just not a perfect science.
dumping
It's
all
kinda
over
flawed,
Darius
yeah.
Garland, and that's not really what we're doing. But the facts are what they are. They were 18-2 in a stretch where they were without, for much of that time, Mobley, and for I think all of, or just about all of that time, without Darius Garland. 18-2. They're a miraculous 60-footer from Max Strus away from being 5-5 in their last 10. And furthermore, what I would do, and I know he's going to do this because we're getting close now. We're into March. JB needs to use the next 12 games, which is basically the next month.
They got 25 left.
Yeah, so it's half of what they're remaining. Yeah. All of the teams that you mentioned in the next 12 are either playoff teams or they're in that mix. This is a great stretch to find out what lineup you're going to be able to go. Now, obviously, the other teams aren't playing it like they're playoff games, but I want to see them go 8-4 over their next 12 with good competition.
I'd hope so, yeah.
I would hope so. If you were going 18-2 at one point without Darius Garland, I just think that teams can peak too soon. I'm not saying they did, but I like for teams, if you're going to have an 18-2 stretch, give me that at the end of the regular season.
One last thing, we'll go to true and false, and I don't want to take anything away from 18-2. They beat a lot of bad teams.
They did.
Like a lot of bad teams.
But, Mike, we talked about this. They were beating a lot of bad teams by 25 points.
Oh, they boat raced. I mean, they beat in back-to-back games. They beat Washington by 39. The very next night, they beat Washington by 34. They beat the Nets by 20, the Bulls by 25, the Bucks by 40, the Hawks by 20, the Magic
Bucks by
30.
40. Now, I know they mailed that one in. And Giannis didn't play.
I mean,
but they beat a
hell of
good,
an impressive,
solid team by 40 points.
They beat the crap out of them. Yeah,
for me,
race.
just to put a little seasoning on it. To me, it's not about the wins and losses. To me, it's identifying a style of play that you can win with, and that is your identity. When you are trying to do the team approach, because the Cavs are trying to be a team approach, they're not going to go into that series with the best two players in that series. They don't have the talent build over the Bucks. They sure as heck don't have it over the Celtics. They don't have it over the Knicks. They don't have it over some of these teams that they want to beat. So what they have to do is they got to establish a way that they're going to play, and it is 1 through 10, we play this way. When the bench guys come in, they play this way, and we're going to live and die with that. Right now, there's no consistent rotation. They don't have an identity they want to play with, and it's too helter-skelter. I don't know. You can't count on that type of, with no plan when you get to the playoffs. So I need to see Darius. If they want to play like that, you should be like, listen, coach, what do you need me to do so that when I come in and Darius or Donovan is running that same type of energy with the 4-out-1 in, let's run that with me too. So we can figure out whether that's with me and Mobley and some shooters. But they got to figure that out in these next 10, 12 games, man.
For the record, I just need to put this on record. I agree wholeheartedly with McNuggets.
I know you do. Yeah, I know.
Just wanted to
and
make
look,
sure I said that.
Mike is likely
DG,
right.
you my guy.
Mike is likely right. It reminds me of the debate that we were having 3 years ago when the Browns looked better and were winning without Odell Beckham. And there were fans saying, I'm sorry, this team's better without Odell Beckham. The numbers bore that out, but it defies logic. So, and I never subscribed to that theory, but I looked at it closely and I said, well, you can't deny that they're having more success when he wasn't there.
Your coach has to get guys. That's what he's there for. He ain't there to just look cute on the sidelines. The coach is to get the best out of the individual players in a team atmosphere. So that's what they need to do. Find out a way to get Darius going. It's not up to Darius to just put himself back in the game and get it going. The coach is supposed to figure a way. Remember when Cavs used to play with Kevin Love and Kyrie? And they used to get the ball to Kevin Love. the first quarter.
Yep.
They said K-Love is first quarter.
Get involved.
Get your money off. Closing. At closing time, they would give the ball to Kyrie and say, move out the way. Kyrie, the best closer we got. And LeBron would facilitate and keep him close in the middle of the game. That's the difference between a Ty Lue and a JB.
Yeah, I would not compare JB to Ty Lue. I'm not going to argue with you one bit on that. So.
By the way, Karras is having an unbelievable run coming on the assist side off the bench. So
he's got a lot of really good pieces.
They got pieces.
But it's up to JB to find out how you look. Just like the Browns had to figure out, you got Odell Beckham, you're going to use him. You have to find the way that you can most effectively use him.
Yes.
And I'm not sure the Browns ever figured that out. The Cavs better figure out how to effectively use Darius Garland. Because I know what you guys are saying. And I think Darius Garland is an incredible talent. I really do. I even feel dirty disparaging him and saying maybe the Cavs should have worked a deal for him if they could have. But what we haven't yet seen is how JB figures out how to use this incredible talent with all of the other incredible talent pieces he has. It's a good problem to have. He's had some time to figure it out. He's running out of time. He better figure it out by April.
Very, very last point, then we'll get to true and false. Whatever you feel about the Cavs now, good, bad, and different, you're going to feel a different way in about 21 days.
Yeah.
You'll either be much stronger in your assertion this team's
We're gonna
flawed,
know.
or you'll be like, damn, I was wrong, this team's really good. We're going to learn for sure the next month.
We're going to know.
So
let's do this. As we said on March 1st, I think you listed 12 games.
On the 24th is the second time they
So
play
let's do a
Miami.
revisit of the Cavs record
On Monday the 25th.
on Monday the 24th. Because I'll
Monday
be
25th.
here.
Sunday's the 24th. So Monday
Okay,
the 25th.
so Monday the 25th. That will follow this stretch of really difficult basketball against some good teams that will be in the playoffs. Let's revisit where they are. They went from 18-2 to 6-4. Let's see where they are after these 12. And I tell you, that will, I think, will set the temperature in the room for expectations going into the playoffs.
100%.
If they're 6-6, I don't have high hopes. If they're 10-2, they figured something out.
They'll prove something to us one way or another. All right, we're going to play True or False here, and I am very excited. But first, a quick word from FanDuel. You can get buckets with your first bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 if your team wins. You can bet on all your favorite NBA players and teams with quick bets, live same-game parlays, exclusive props, and so much more. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to shoot your shot. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Steve, hit the music. It's time for True or False, Isaac Okoro edition.
Oh. By the way, who's turning into one of my favorite players.
He might be too good. The Cavs can't afford him
This dude, I like his game.
He's been phenomenal. Literally phenomenal.
He's due for a contract.
He's a restricted free agent, so they can match. I mean, they can match any offer he gets, but there's a chance a team gives him a 5-year, $80 million contract.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be worth more to a team that doesn't have him than to the Cavaliers, which is sad. But that's
He's
my
been so
fear
good.
too.
He literally has been phenomenal. I actually mentioned, I'll save it for the end. All right, first question, true or false, Isaac Okoro. Okoro was a consensus 5-star recruit coming out of high school. True or false?
You did a story on it.
I talked to Andy Katz the other day, and
What is wrong with you?
3 falses and a free cruise on the line, and you guys are all right. It is false. He was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school.
he was not in the ESPNU top 100. He was ranked number 66 coming out.
Well, if he was ranked 66, he would be in ESPN.
Now he would be in the top 100 if he was 66th.
It's the G. Bush top 100.
Math is strong suit.
G, you're on one today.
98, 99, 100, 66.
All the double numbers get skipped. 11, 22 goes at the end. All right, number 2. Isaac Okoro and fellow Cavs guard Sharif Cooper are teammates now in Cleveland. They were also high school teammates in Georgia.
That's too random.
Oh,
That's too random.
all right.
That's too random.
We all.
Three trues
That's too-
and yes, 3 correct answers.
That's
G.
way
Bush.
too
I didn't think
random.
you guys would know that.
I
They
did,
were
but it is
teammates.
random to just pick a. Like, why would you pick
They were
something like
also the number 1 overall ranked team in the country and won the Max Preps National Championship that year. All right, next up, Isaac Okoro was the first Auburn Tiger to make the All-NBA rookie team since Charles Barkley.
Trying to think of all.
that? I don't even. I'm trying to think of the Auburn players.
Damn.
Didn't they have a dude that used to have the afro named Porter?
G. Bush says true. Tyvis says true. Jay says false.
Almost changed it.
The answer's false. There have been 4 between Charles Barkley and Isaac Okoro. You ready for this?
Names.
Chris Morris in 1989.
Oh, wow.
Chuck Pearson
Chris
in
Morris.
1987. Wesley Person in 1995, and Marquise Daniels
Nice.
in 2004.
He's doggone. All right, man. Next question.
All right, next
Chris
up.
Morris. That's big.
Next up. Back. 4 between Charles Barkley and Isaac Okoro. Number 4. Okoro's a career high at Auburn of 23 points.
That's really. That's
That can't.
that is real mild sauce. Actually, that might be medium sauce. 23? Dang. Let me see.
But would he be asking it if it wasn't true?
True for Tyvis.
I believe
Jay
it.
has a false.
I'm gonna go with true, bro.
I believe it.
I don't think he would put
He
something.
ain't a scorer.
The answer is true. 23. A career high for Isaac.
Now we're all even again.
Hey, that's
At
minimum.
all.
See,
That's,
I even said he wouldn't be asking it if it wasn't true.
The reason being is because with the day he got drafted to the Cleveland Cavaliers, they asked his coach at Auburn about him, and he was saying if he ever gets an offensive game, he'd be one of the best. So I was thinking, if your coach
God,
is
you would
23,
think,
like, of course he
if
only
that
got
good in college, you would run into a 30-point game.
I think his coach was surprised when he got drafted 5th. Like, for real? That's what's up, dog.
Wow!
Oh, yeah. It's like when you run into your dude from high school and he was a lame, but then he come back and you see him and you introduce you to his wife. You're like, dang, dog.
Yeah, you about coverage.
Yeah. You got that job, didn't you? See, all you needed.
money in your pocket.
You got a little couple
money in your
dollars.
pocket.
G. Bush, that was the weird draft coming off the COVID year, wasn't it? With Anthony Edwards went 1, James Wiseman 2,
I think that was the
LaMelo
year.
Ball.
It was really weird.
James, where's James Wiseman?
He's in Detroit now.
Is he playing?
We're all tied, 3-1.
Not really. Ed, score update real quick. Is everyone at 3-1?
I think we're all 3-1.
Everyone is 3-1. All right,
He
halfway
works,
through. Next up,
He works part-time.
Isaac Okoro won a gold medal for Team USA in the 2018 FIBA Under-17 Basketball World Cup.
See, these is one of you. This is an AAU award. All that under 17 FIBA. It's too many words in that. That means it don't count. I'm gonna say, was he on that level?
Tyvis says false.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I don't feel like he was balling. He was the number 1 team in the nation. I'm gonna say true. He was the number
Well,
1 team. Number
Yeah,
1.
yeah.
They could have put him
I
on
think
that.
they got a silver that year.
Jay says false. G says true. Jay says they think they got silver. Jay, you're wrong, my friend. It was a gold medal. He averaged 4.2 points, 2.1
damn,
rebounds,
Tyvis took
and
the lead.
1.6
And G
steals
took the
per
lead.
game.
No, G got the league.
Oh,
got the
G
lead.
said false
Yeah, I'm
too?
with you.
Damn.
Okay, next up.
Dang.
Question number 6.
Dang, I blew it.
Are y'all ready?
Blew it.
Isaac's older brother Jonathan has been the lead piano player on 2 different Justin Bieber singles. Excuse the double period, Anthony. I'm not sure why you put 2 periods there. 2 periods for each single, 1 for each.
This random as hell.
That's definitely random.
This
But he knows.
random.
He knows that we know that it's random.
Lead piano player. I wonder how many points he got on that album. Singles. He's a producer.
Piano player.
I'm gonna go with that. This-
Minimoski.
Tyvis says false. Jay says false.
He used that completely wrong.
G says false. The answer,
No blood, no fire.
it is false. It is false. He does not have an older brother named Jonathan. And
I'm like,
wanna
for
throw
Justin
one-
Bieber?
wanted to try throwing one out there for you guys.
Plus,
but,
like, how
sniffed
many
it out.
singles does Justin Bieber have piano on?
Right. Like, I'm like, that's all.
I mean, said, go with drums, go with guitar.
I asked that. Well, he has a sister who played piano, so I figured that could be the tie. But y'all got it. It's all good. 2 more.
I don't
G's
hear
in the
piano
lead.
on a lot of Justin Bieber's songs.
I need
G's
you
in the
to
lead.
miss
All right,
one.
next one. Isaac Okoro is one of 3 Cavs rookies ever to have at least 500 points, 50 threes, 50 steals, and 20 blocks in their rookie seasons. The other 2, LeBron and Kyrie. It's either all true or all false, by the way. It's not
500 points. How many games is that?
82.
So that's looking like, what, 4 points a game?
No,
He
that's 6
hit
points a game.
He didn't average no 6. He could average
It's
6
actually
when he's playing.
over 6 a game.
That's a lot. 20 blocks?
He was balling like that.
I don't feel he was balling.
Well,
like
go
that.
false then.
I don't feel like he was.
Jay says true. Tyvis says true.
I don't feel like he didn't do that.
G says false. Because the answer is true, that means we are in a 3-way tie heading into the finale.
You're sitting there using logic to say he didn't do that.
I already
True.
wrote it
You
down.
have an eraser.
It's too late. It's too late.
So, Anna, we all tied up. Everyone's tied going to the final question.
Everybody is currently tied at 5, yes.
I will look up a tiebreaker after
We're going to have a
this.
tie for sure.
I'm going,
Okay, last question.
I'm going opposite.
Last question.
Not if you don't know what we say.
Isaac Okoro's career high in the NBA is 28 points.
What you want to do?
I did a story on this.
What you say?
False. True, which means if it's false, we have a new
Please
winner.
be wrong.
Anthony, drum roll, please.
Please be true. Please,
Steve, take it.
please be true.
His career high was 32 points.
He had it this
against
year, didn't he?
Phoenix. 32 against Phoenix in May of 2021.
Oh, 21.
Why couldn't you at least?
Well, I'd like to thank the Academy. I'd like to thank Tyvis for being wrong so often.
And you have to hold this L to football season?
Yeah. I will see you in September.
That hurts your heart.
Oh, that kills Tyvis right now.
man.
That just, he is a broken man.
I can't even do the show no more.
You're a broken
You know
man.
me think about this driving to Columbus?
I am.
By the way, Jimmy, if you're watching, how you going to give a guy a raise when he keeps losing? Just saying. Haslam is not in the business of paying losers. Allegedly.
He is when you could wrap a nice bow on it and
Hey,
be an politician.
Did you guys, I'm sure you guys talked about that NFLPA survey, didn't you?
We did, yes.
Yeah.
Man, there was so much there.
There
was so much there.
Jay takes the fun out of this game. He does stories on stuff, man.
Jay has never done a story on Isaac Okoro.
He said he
he's
did.
he's in
No,
your
that's
head,
just
man.
my line to get in your head.
Jay, when he leaves here, he works out and then goes reads traffic updates upstairs for 2 hours. Come on.
Exactly what I do. Why you think I'm doing stories on Isaac Okoro?
I have a whole sports.
It all started because I really did do a lot of stories on Tito Francona when I got like 8 out of 9 of those questions
and
right.
Kareem Hunt, which I do think you did a story on.
Yeah,
because
Kareem
he's a
Hunt,
Willoughby
too.
Guy. Yeah.
I just like
Steve, leave
They
me
gonna
alone.
hit you with the slow zoom? That's crazy.
if you look closely, you can see a tear in one of those eyes.
Hey,
All
man,
right, because I
that's-
really want to
that's-
get the quarterbacks in here,
Stay,
Jay.
wait a minute.
I-
Steve Becker, if you're watching, please schedule me on a Monday or Friday again. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
See you in September.
Jay, because I really want to get this quarterback thing, and I got one more read, 2 super chats, and we'll spend the last 5 minutes on this QB list, and maybe we'll do it another day in a longer session. But if you're looking to get tickets to a concert or any game, you better be using Game Time to help you do so. It's the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. They have last-minute tickets, flash deals, and zone deals. It makes it easy to find and buy tickets of every kind. They have the lowest price guaranteed, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, and views from the seat in the venue. It is so easy. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Just download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. We have 3 Super Chats real quick. The first one comes from CT-TR33LOV3RYT. He said, let's go Cleveland Browns and the media for the fans, and a lot of emojis. So shout out to you for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Brody's bottom line says, I'm more worried about JB than Darius, and he wants us to stop talking about the Knicks. They might be in the play-in with all those injuries. Without Randall, the Cavs will smoke them in 5.
Whoa. 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 Do you not see, like Anunoby is coming back? Hartenstein is out here balling.
All 3 of their guys are expected back by the end of the
Yeah, what you talking about?
All right, we're going to talk quarterbacks real quick. ESPN put out a list of the 10 best college quarterbacks since the year 2000. Here's their list. I wanted to spend more time on this, but we'll do it quickly, and if it's contentious, we may come back to it next week. But their top 5 quarterbacks since the year 2000. Number 1, Baker Mayfield. Number 2, Cam Newton. Number 3, Vince Young. Number 4, Tim Tebow. And Joe Burrow comes in at number 5. At number 6, they have Deshaun Watson. Kyler Murray at 7. Lamar Jackson at 8. Marcus Mariota at 9. And Robert Griffin III at 10.
When you say 2000s, what did that go up to?
The year 2000 to now.
Okay. First and foremost, where's Manziel at?
That was one of my big complaints. Where the hell is Johnny Football?
What happened to Matt Leinart?
Matt Leinart was
Didn't he
was
win the
2000s.
Heisman?
Yeah,
Did he
he
win the
was 2000s.
Heisman?
he choked. Didn't he lose to
Vince Young.
Vince Young?
Yeah.
He
Even
won
though
a national championship, then lost to Texas.
Yeah, it wasn't really. I didn't think that was Matt Leinart's fault as much as I thought it was Pete Carroll's fault. Remember the 4th and 1 that they had that they gave the ball to Lendale White
I thought
while the Heisman Trophy winner Reggie Bush was standing
standing on
next
the
to Pete
sauce.
Carroll on the
Yeah.
I
sidelines.
always thought
So
Matt Leinart
he's
was,
made that mistake twice in his
I always
coaching
thought Matt Leinart was a little
He has.
overrated, bro. Like I didn't see that.
I didn't never think he was that
good.
great.
Like it was
Leinart?
like- yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I don't think it's egregious to not have him on
Yeah,
that
I-
list.
but he did
had
win.
Reggie
He won
White.
a lot of games.
Well,
so it's
but
like,
Reggie White was, for me,
Reggie
Reggie
Bush.
White was the reason he was winning
You
a
mean
lot of
Reggie
games.
Bush?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Reggie
When I
Bush.
say Reggie White was
Yeah.
a
I'm
whole.
I'm like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, Reggie White he came back as a running
All
back.
right, so let's say it's a great game, but for the sake of this, because we have 5 minutes, is Baker Mayfield the best quarterback
No.
since the year
No.
2000?
Dude.
no,
I
I'm
say
surprised
no.
he was even in the
It-
top. I wouldn't have had him in the top
I would have
3.
had Cam or Joe or Vince Young.
I've got Tim Tebow.
Tebow. See, it's interesting,
Tebow.
and they didn't give context.
Hey,
And to me, it
Tebow
felt
was
weird
up
that
Tebow was unbelievable.
They
Now,
gave-
people forget about Tim Tebow.
well, they
know.
gave Baker credit for having multiple good seasons, right? And,
So
and I
did
think
Tim.
that's why they put him at 1. If you look at his total numbers here, I mean, he had the best overall numbers.
Didn't win a national championship.
But that's my
Didn't
point.
even win a
They-
playoff game.
Tim Tebow won 2 national championships.
that's what I'm saying. It was very inconsistent. If you're going to grade guys on one season, like Cam Newton, then where the hell is Johnny
was-
Football?
I'm about to say,
Cam
And if
Newton
you
was
want guys on
perfect.
Cam
career,
Newton.
then Deshaun Watson should be high. This list made
Cam
no sense. I have
Newton.
so many
Hey,
issues.
shout out to the old Scam Newton.
Yeah.
When Scam Newton came onto the scene, oh, bro.
Joe Burrow was perfect.
Yeah, first of all.
Joe Burrow was
Joe Burrow-
phenomenal. Joe Burrow had all-world talent with him.
Joe Burrow had.
He did. Cam did not, but he.
Cam had no receiver.
No,
he
Cam, I got to tell you, Cam was so fun to watch. Very exciting.
Shout out to Luxenkirchen.
I just don't understand how you get.
Who?
The tight end, the Luxenkirchen guy. He's a big tight end he had. He used to throw the ball to him all the time.
I just don't
He died.
understand how you get Baker Mayfield as number 1.
It has to be a longevity thing. He had more really good seasons, but he didn't win. He
I
won
mean,
jack
if
crap.
you're looking at if you're
Wait a-
looking at
nice
total
catch, Mike.
numbers for the entire
TV mode.
career, Tim Tebow's numbers. Can you call up
We have it,
Tebow's
yeah.
numbers?
Yeah, right here. The
Tim
thing is,
Tebow
it's
was
a different era.
video game. Next, 88 touchdowns, 16 interceptions.
57 rushing touchdowns.
But, so you see this though, real quick.
That's the thing. You're
But then we go up to Baker. Like, I know it's a different era, but
That's ridiculous too.
You know what? To me, I got to tell you why I think this is so laughable. That conference never played defense.
I'm with I'm
they
agree. I'm
don't.
just
That
saying.
conference
like, you go pure
never,
That's a fact.
ever played
That is a
defense.
fact. They
And the
don't.
games were 55-52. If you go back and you look at one of the great college games of that
Mahomes
era
versus
was
Baker.
Mahomes against Baker. That game was absolutely insane good.
Deshaun Watson versus Lamar was insanely good.
Tremendous.
That was crazy.
Tremendous.
Deshaun at 6 on this list. Fair, too high, too low, about right?
I mean, Deshaun was unbelievable. He was nice at Clemson. I mean,
why-
they
was good.
Didn't they go to? He won a national championship.
I think he
They
won one.
And I think he lost, but didn't he lose?
He lost like
lose
2.
in the national championship?
No, I thought he lost one.
I thought he
I thought it was
2.
1-1 in the national
Okay,
championship.
I thought he lost one and won one. Numbers were very solid. His touchdown to interception ratio, though, was only 3-1. Go back and look at Tebow's. Tebow's was over almost 5-1.
Tim,
It probably was 5-1.
hey, look, Tim.
That's great.
And he did it when somebody could say he
But
did it.
his team was
saved
all
his
world.
prime.
His team was all worldly too.
If you consistently could beat
Twice,
Alabama,
Urban and Florida got over Alabama and Nick Saban.
twice, and they beat Ohio State. Like
Hey.
Facts, though.
We
Facts.
So if that's the case, then Cardell is all world. We beat Alabama too.
Can't believe Cardell wasn't on that list.
Shocking. You think Just saying.
Braxton Miller had the craziest.
But also, how if you're going to give Cam Newton, because Cam Newton played one season
One
in college
season.
football.
He transferred in from
Florida
JUCO.
to Blinn.
Oh, yeah. Florida
Blinn,
to
and then
Blinn,
Blinn
then
to-
to Auburn.
If you're going to give him credit, and he deserves to be on this list, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I think his one season might be the best individual season I've ever seen from a quarterback. Him and Burrow.
I was going to say, how does his compare to Burrow? Because Burrow's one season
Burrow's
at
numbers
LSU
are it's out of
was
this world. It's
eye-poppingly
different.
great.
But how is Johnny Football not on here then?
Yeah, I think maybe
he
they
should
dinged him for
be.
playing in the conference he played in. Was he yet in the
Yeah,
SEC?
they were
They
very
played-
first
in the
year in
SEC, yeah.
Okay, then they can't use that.
They dinged Johnny Football for drinking and cocaine and going to Vegas.
And Steve Becker says Vince Young should be number 1.
Vince Young was great.
Vince
Did
Young
you
was
realize
great.
I was making Steve take 2 or 3 real quick? I thought his stats were way better than they were.
Who, Vince Young?
I mean, different era. Granted, different era. But
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
I
look
know.
at his
I was
touchdown to
shocked.
interception.
In my head, I was shocked.
Vince Young had really one good year.
Yeah, the year of the Heisman, he didn't win the Heisman over Reggie.
And really, the Heisman's a regular season award, but to me, he solidified the Heisman with that last minute drive against USC in the national championship. That was one of the best late game drives in a big situation that I've ever seen.
You know who had crazy stats?
We got 10 seconds.
You got 10 seconds.
Dwayne Haskins.
Oh, he
Yeah.
threw for 50 touchdowns.
Fact.
50
Oh, yeah,
Bucks.
KYC.
Going to Channel 3.
Peace.
Make the switch.